Okay, so here we are. We're making a bracket to hold my LCD display. It'll essentially look like this. This clips over the edge of the at a 45-degree angle to hold those two screw holes and those two screw holes to hold that at a 45-degree angle back. So this is what's going on here. See if I can get a good angle. Does the perimeter layer first. And once the perimeter is finished, it does the infill. Now I believe I have this set to 50% infill. But I think the first 3 layers might be 100% infill. Let's see if we can try to. I'm gonna have to check the output on my X-axis driver because it sounded a little loud, and I don't know if I hear what it might be is the bearings, the actual printed plastic that it's on those 2 rods there might actually be a little askew, and so the bearings aren't perfectly straight, so it binds a little bit on there and makes the bearings rattle when it moves. But the motor itself down over here is a little warm to the touch, so I think it may just be getting too much voltage run to it, so I'm going to have to double check my trim on that particular motor. Now you can see it changed its thing. It does a honeycomb style infill. Except for the first 3 layers, it does the rectilinear. Basically just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But then it does honeycomb on the everything else except for the last 3 layers. So there you have it. Anyway, second print on its way of this piece, so then I can attach that normally. Yay! It'll be about another hour before it's done. So there's that. Oh, and on the bed, I've got heated to 65 degrees Celsius, and the it's a glass bed. The extruder end, the hot end there, is heated at 195 degrees Celsius. Each one of those is 5 degrees hotter for the very first layer to help adhesion. Instead of using the blue tape, which a lot of people use on this, a lot of people use blue tape when they do not use a heated bed. Since I have the heated bed, I tried printing one thing and it was weird, so when I was printing a little cube, the first layer of it, the second layer went by and it caught it and moved it around. Well, that's because what I did not realize was my Z-stop over here was loose and just had moved down a little bit. So to remedy that today, I put a second holder on it and clamp that down so it's got double clamp. I'm going to make a better type of Z-stop, an adjustable one, which will tremendously aid in leveling the bed. Basically the bed was like it was messed up because of that. The nozzle was riding on the glass and not extruding at all. So once I get everything up to temperature, this time I actually did the measurement when it was hot, so everything was expanded, so it has the proper amount, 2.203 millimeters. Anyways, so that was, but on the bed here, what I'm running is I'm running some fancy stuff here. It's a Suave Extreme Hold 10, so it's got the level 10 of holding. Basically, and just squirted a little bit on there, let it dry on the heated bed, and what that does is it helps the adhesion of the first few layers, so you don't get curling later on and everything. So it's all runs all good. So yeah, there's what I got. Can't think of anything in particular. This fan right here doesn't always start. I have to tap my finger on it and then it'll start spinning, so I want to replace that fan. I'm also going to get a fan shroud to actually blow right directly on the parts when I'm running PLA to cool that right away. That'd be good. Thinking about also putting a heatsink on this motor if I can't get it to cool down. And there's a few other things, like over the top here we have the motors right there. There is a spacer that lifts the motors up quite a bit. If you look down here at the very bottom, you can see the threaded rod there actually is tied in around this area here to a nut. So I'm going to make a backlash illuminator that goes in there, but I'm also going to raise the whole motor thing up a bit, so that way I don't have to worry about it'll just clear to the top a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. There it is. Working, printing the first modification that I've printed from this RepRap printer. And there's a 10-minute video, so, well, just under 10. But there you have it. Ta-ta.